Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to see Amazon RDS new feature, which is blue-green deployment. This was very recently announced in last reInvent, which was in November 2022. And blue-green deployment provides us a capacity or capability to do database maintenance activity with lesser downtime. How much less, we will figure out today, right? So as part of this tutorial, we are going to create blue-green deployment. We are going to upgrade MySQL database version as part of this. We'll see current topology of the database, like it will have multi-AZ, it will have DB replica, whether that will be carried over in your green deployment. So all this and much more you will see in this tutorial. So don't miss this tutorial, you don't want to miss that, and head into Management Console.
So what blue-green deployment essentially is you will create a staging environment exactly same like production for database management activity, you might say, right? So for example, if you want to upgrade your database version, so you can create a staging which is called as a green field or green environment, and you do upgrade there, make sure everything is good with the upgrade, and then you switch over. So switchover guardrails are already built in, and this is out of the box solution from AWS, and it's very exciting feature and it's very useful, and we'll see it more, or you learn more when you actually see it happening in front of you, right? And what we are going to do as part of this, I'll create blue-green deployment which creates a staging environment, and I'll show you how to create that. Then we'll switch over. Before switch over, we simulate application connectivity, and I'll do it from EC2 instance. Then we'll switch over. I want to time how much downtime it is required. The purpose of blue-green deployment is reduce downtime for your database management activities. So let's go ahead and try it ourselves. You can see I already logged in, and first step for blue-green deployment is first see your production environment topology. Here you can see there is database 1, which is primary, and then DB replica, which is replica, of course. And if I go into database 1 and I'll show you configuration real quick, right? And main is multi-AZ, right? So it is a multi-AZ database and it has one replica. So when we are doing blue-green deployment in our green field or green environment, there will be exact replica of this environment. It's not only a replica of the database, it's a replica of topology. So our database is multi-AZ, there it will be multi-AZ. Our database has one replica, there it will have one replica, right? I hope that much is clear to you. So let's go ahead and create blue-green deployment. So I am into RDS service. I went to the database and then selected database 1, which is our primary database, and let's see what action we can take. It is create blue-green deployment, and you can see it new, right? It was introduced or announced in reInvent 2022. It's a month of November, right? So let me just start blue-green deployment. So let me give some name, blue-green deployment, and the current version of RDS is 8.0.28. Yeah, so let me show you how I'm going to simulate application connectivity, right? So here, if I go into this insert.sh, what basically it does is it connects to the database using MySQL client. It truncates some table, which is a tracking table I have created, insert current values. And if it is able to connect to the database and insert, it will say, okay, all is okay, right? And put the timestamp. And if it is not able to connect to the database, it says I am failing, and it puts the timestamp. So basically during switchover, I want to show you till what time you are able to connect to the database. Then switchover, during switchover you will not be able to connect, so that is the interruption to the services, and then again you start connecting. So how much time that takes, let's see ourselves, right? So that is, we are going to see it. So let me connect to the database first. Okay, and I want to show you version. Okay, so current version is 8.0.28. So now let me just go back and start creating blue-green deployment. And what I'm doing is, on my green field, I want to use 8032. So this is the latest version what is available. So I want to just take that. So as to just show you that we are doing database upgrade as part of this blue-green deployment, and that is what database management activity was what I was referring to. So current version is 8028. Now I am taking 8032, and I have shown it like a version by connecting to database as well, right? So everything else I'll just keep it as is. Create staging environment. If you observe, right, what it does is it keeps the DB identifier as is. It just prefix green to it and then some random alphanumeric characters, right? And this is like for primary database. Exactly same will happen for DB replica. Yeah, this is going to take time. Like I have seen, like at least it takes more than maybe 15-20 minutes. So I'm not going to wait for that long. What I'm going to do is I am going to pause this video and come back when it is available, and then we'll review it again, our environment, and then we'll start switchover. And switchover is something you definitely don't want to miss, so please stay tuned. I'll pause it for now, and once it is done, deployment is ready for us, I will resume recording, and then we can see how switchover works. Okay, so we have blue-green deployment ready now. You can see it's ready, and we can proceed with the next step. And it took roughly around 30 minutes or so. So it's a little slow process when you are creating blue-green deployment. But once it is there, we can look at configuration, what is built as part of blue-green deployment, right? So let me run you through all this. So this we already have seen, like we have database 1, DB replica 1, and this database 1 is multi-AZ. And whenever we are seeing like production topology will be copied, cloned, not only database. So if you see blue-green deployment, right? So first I want to show you endpoint, right? So if you see, this is the endpoint database -1, and then some alphanumeric number and US East 1 RDS Amazon AWS.com, right? So this is a region US East 1. So if you see this is exactly same what we have it for original database, which is blue database, right? And blue-green deployment is exactly same endpoint. So if we connect to this endpoint, we are going to primary or blue database, right? And then when we check green deployment, you can see that it has database -1 green and some alphanumeric number string. So this is same like it's putting in database identifier and then same string US East 1, which is region, and then RDS service, right? So like this is another point you should note, that when it's create a green deployment, it's like put a postfix which is green and some alphanumeric number. Same happens with replica as well. So primary database as well as replica. Okay, that much is clear. Another thing I want to show you is the configuration, right? You can see that it is multi-AZ in yes. So it has whatever topology was there for our blue environment, right? So basically, like be it like a multi-AZ setup, be it replica, even like if you have automated backup certain schedule, that will be copied. Even snapshot, database snapshot frequency, that will be copied. So most of the important things are getting to your green deployment. And when you have this endpoint, green endpoint, what you can do is you pretty much can connect to this endpoint and do whatever testing you want to do before you confirm that everything is good with your green landscape and you are ready for switchover. So we don't have full-fledged application as such, but I want to show you connectivity to first to blue database or like our original production database, right? And see the version there, right? So if I show you version, it is 8.0.28, and if I connect you to green database, let me see if okay, so this is the endpoint which I showed in the console, right? So same exact endpoint I'm taking for green database, I'm connecting there, and I'll show you version, right? It is 8.0.32. So you can see that we upgraded the database as part of this blue-green deployment configuration or setup. And you can independently connect to your blue database, you can connect to your green database. Blue anyway is expected because that is your current production, and you can connect to your green database and do whatever testing you want to do. Make sure that everything is good with your new database, which is a staging environment for you, and provided everything is good, you can go ahead and do switchover. So that is the next thing we are going to see, which is switchover. So for that, I want to even time it, right? How much time switchover is taking. So let's see how much it really takes. So like I want to show you a small script which I have wrote for this. So basically what we are doing is we are connecting to the database. I have created a sample table to track time. So I'll just truncate that table, and then in a loop, right, I took 2 million records. I don't see that it will take that much time, but I just to be on safer side, I just took huge numbers so that like it should not happen that our script is completely run and still switchover is not done yet, right? Just to cover up that situation, I took a really big number here. So I'm just connecting to the database, same endpoint. You notice like I have never used a green endpoint anywhere. So same endpoint what we have for production, and then I'm inserting current time in track time so that later we can check that entries in track time and see what was happening when actual switchover was taking place. Was our database was available or it was just failing, right? So, and then this is a command where I'll use for actual selecting from track time table. Okay, so let's go with this, right? Let me first run 1 minute. I just want to check something else. Okay, it is output, we are putting it there, then this is output, we are appending to it, all good, right? So let me just run this insert command. Okay, so insert is in progress, right? And let me see. Okay, yeah, let it run. I just don't want to disturb it at the moment, and then I'll just go ahead and start switchover. Right, so you can see like I chose like the blue-green deployment, which is a blue-green deployment role. This is primary, this is replica, and this is primary and replica, right? And one more thing I forgot to show you, if you go into primary, right, I just want to show this real quick. Our script is running, so I don't want to take much of time before I start switchover, but just see this. This is primary, and this is a very good view of what is happening in as part of the replication. So one is primary, then second is green, which is a source for replication, as well as this is a replica as well, right? Because this is replica for this particular source, you can see it here, and this is source for this replica, which is a replica we have for green as well, right? So that is source. And this DB replica is obviously replica, it is not source for anything. So this is a very good view for looking at like your topology and what is being done as part of the replication. Okay, enough is said. So let me go into blue-green deployment, start switchover, right? And I want to show you this. Switchover is started. Okay, so I want to give 10 minutes. Obviously I'm not expecting it to take 10 minutes, but I'm giving that much time. If 10 minutes is not enough for switchover, it will just fail, or it will just not do anything. It will be just back to our original production. Okay, switchover. Okay, great. So switchover is in progress now. You can see that it's preparing for switchover, and let me see whether I can connect one more time. And what I basically want to do, right, I want to see what is happening in that output, right? Okay, so you can see that it is saying okay. So like connectivity to database is still intact, switchover is in progress, but still connectivity is intact. So till now we don't have any downtime whatsoever. Now it started failing. So this is middle of switchover, and we can see that it is saying connectivity is failing now. So we are not able to connect to the application is down, and that is outage for us. And we want to see how much outage we are causing when we are in middle of switchover. right? So this is the outage I was talking about, and we are going to time it. Great. So you are back into the business, you are able to connect to the database, and your application is happy and rolling, right? So let me stop this, right? Let me stop this because we are back into the application. We are able to connect, so I don't want to run this still, right? Is running with, so SQL Server is running with read-only option, so it cannot execute this statement. So that is what is happening at the moment, right? And this was when switchover was happening, right? This error was there when switchover was happening, but now if you see that error stopped coming, so connectivity is established and it is able to connect to the application, right? So let me just stop this. Oh, sorry. Okay, I stopped the script, so basically nothing is coming to this output now. Okay, so let me see what is the status of the switchover. If you see, switchover is still in progress, right? RDS is switching over production traffic from blue database to green database. RDS is switching over, so it stays still doing some work, but our application is up and running, like because it's showing like database, this database, right? It is available, right? And whatever old database was there, which was our blue database or primary database earlier, that is marked as database name hyphen old one, right? And same will happen with this DB replica, but let's wait for a few minutes before that happens, right? We'll see it ourselves, and this is still doing work. So ideally switchover is not completed, but it made our database available because that was a priority to bring your application up and running. So this made the primary database available, but it's still working to make sure that switchover completes and all the production topology is carried over to your staging environment when it made it your production or primary database. Okay, so let's look at it. Yeah, still I told you, right, like DB replica will also have that postfix of old, that is still happening. So we'll give it a little more time, but meantime we want to see how much time it took when we had outage, right? So let me just try to quantify that, right? So let me just say fail, not this. Was it fail? Okay, yeah. So if you see this, till this time it was okay. So the moment we hit this time 002556, right? 002556. Let me put it here. Oh, it's not copying it. Okay, so this was 0025, and then okay, so let me go shift G, let me go in the end, and here I'll try to find fail again. Okay, so this was last timestamp when we have failure, and here I'll take this instead, right? 002615, right? This is when everything was back to normal. And how much was that? It was 2556, and here 2556 and 2615. So 2556 means 4 seconds there, and then 15 seconds. So ideally what I'm saying is, like, it is just 20 seconds or so, right? Like let me see it once again. 2556 and 2615, 15 for 19 seconds. So ideally, like, if you see it, the downtime was around less than 20 seconds. So if you see AWS documentation, right, they are saying like it will be less than 1 minute depending on the workload. So we are really seeing it. There is not much load on the database. So definitely when you are doing this in production, right, you will do when it is a quieter time for the application. You don't want to do in your peak business hour. That doesn't make sense. But still, like, it's not that slow. I just want to show that it is not that slow, right? So it's a very great option to use for your database maintenance. And other important thing, what I want to show you, right, I want to show you the version of your database now. So if you connect to green, if you connect to your original endpoint, which should be intact, right, and then see the version, see that 8032. So you upgraded the database, incurring downtime of 20 seconds. It is real, it is a little extreme, because like 20 seconds for not much happening on the database is okay, but still, like if like documentation saying up to 1 minute, I still think this is a really good option for doing any database maintenance activities, as management activities or maintenance activities, as this one. Okay, so there are a few advantages of doing it, or benefits of using it for sure, but at the same time there are some limitations, right? I will not cover everything in this video, because otherwise it will be a really big tutorial. I don't want to you guys sitting and watching this for so long. So what I'll do is I'll just create another video if possible, and if you guys are interested, right, like please put that in comments, so I know like you want to learn more theory around this on blue-green deployment, like say benefits of it, then limitations, and any consideration we should have for using this particular feature. All this we can cover in later video, but for today I think this was enough for one tutorial, and we learned at least a few new thing related to Amazon RDS. And now you can see that everything is available. It says Switchover completed, and then like as I told you, right, that green thing is completely gone. It made it as a primary, renamed it, and it made it old one for your earlier databases, right? One other thing I want to just highlight, right, I told like there are some consideration, right, and we can cover it later, but just for food for thought, right, whatever resource ID associated with this particular database or entities, right, those will not change. It is changing aliases, is changing names of this, but resource IDs will remain the same. And that is a clue for you to read more on this, and then understand yourself how this really working, right? That is a food for thought I just told you, right? I don't want to cover that, but that is a resource ID. If you see this resource ID before switchover and after switchover, I don't expect it to change, and that is how it is managing all this. So wherever you have a dependence on resource ID, that is a consideration for blue-green deployment. You have to change it later, be it for your infrastructure as a code template, Terraform or CloudFormation or whatsoever, or it might be some performance insights you are using, and you have that dependency on resource ID anywhere. You have to change that. So there are some consideration even for AWS backup and all that. So I will leave you with this thought in mind. Read more about this resource ID and see how it's using it for this blue-green deployment. And if you want a detailed video on, as I said, like advantages and then limitations and all that, right, please let me know that in comment, and we'll talk more on that later. But for now, I'll leave you here, and make sure if you're following this and doing it yourself, make sure you delete everything. And in real scenario, you may want to just delete blue-green deployment, your old database, old replica, and that's it. Then you are done with your upgrade, right? But for sure, I'll delete everything. I'll not hold you for that, but I'll do it later. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. Like see you at another topic in AWS tutorials, and keep learning, keep sharing, and thanks, and bye for now. Hope you learned something new today. If so, please like this video, share, leave your comment so that I know this content is helping you. Don't forget to subscribe, and that's now. Okay, see you again with yet another exciting tutorial about AWS. Keep learning, keep sharing what you learn, and thanks for watching.